The modding scene in Minecraft continues to unveil new modding developments, and today I want to continue exploring 10 more mods that have been in the works. Many of these were suggested by you, the community, so thanks to your efforts, we can uncover new mods, and the modders who strive to bring these creations to life. First, we begin with Untagged and Untitled. Untagged and Untitled aims to introduce an assortment of odd and quirky additions that spans across the entire game, from new mobs to blocks, gadgets, dimensions, structures, and even joke items. Aesthetically, the mod has no one clear style, drawing inspiration from a mishmash of retro, glitchy, and window core themes, and evokes similar sensations to old school Minecraft or an alternate version of it. The mod's elements are designed so they're only discoverable through player choice. Nothing will be thrust onto the player. It leaves you the freedom to explore the mod's features however you see fit. Untagged and Untitled has been the modder's biggest project, and the efforts are clearly showing results. Quite large in fact that the mod is only about halfway complete. Fortunately, the wait to play this mod is actually much sooner than you think. Recently, the developer has shared news that the mod is nearing a playable beta release, possibly sometime within April for Forge 1.20.1, where the mod can be tested and polished for when it's fully finished. Untagged and Untitled's premise is a welcome addition to the modding scene, and even though there'll be much to wait for, the mod will possibly garner lots of interest from the modding scene, and it'll be exciting to see what else is planned for the future of the mod. Moving towards the next mod is a sequel to one of the most influential dimension mods that pioneered developments in the modding landscape, the Aether II. The Aether II is a reimagining of the Aether mod, following in its footsteps by expanding the dimension's aspects with new features and reworked systems. Much of the realm is familiar to those who've journeyed in the Holy Isles, though there's plenty of new additions that refresh the place, with new dungeons, biomes, mobs, equipment, and reworked progression systems. Adventure and survival continues to be the main focus, and is doubled down to provide even more options for navigating and progressing through the dimension. After many years of development, the team behind its creation have recently released a playable alpha for NeoForge 1.21.8, where they intend to update it to 1.21.11 and 26.1. Although it's now playable, the Aether II is still in active development. The team shared a roadmap for what to expect in future updates, with incorporating more dungeons and biome-specific mobs to environmental elements, adding new mower mechanics, as well as ironing out bugs and incorporating quality of life improvements. It's been a long time coming, but the developers have done an amazing job thus far to rekindle the Aether mod many players know and enjoyed into the current modding landscape, where both new and veteran players can experience the renewed Aether. The next highly anticipated mod development is Terramity. Now, unlike the other mods within this video, Terramity has been available to play for some time, but its 1.0 version has gathered increased interest from the modding community. But for those who are unfamiliar, what's Terramity? Terramity fills the gaps in Minecraft's progression system by providing new activities to reinvigorate your game, with new structures, mobs, bosses, weapons, and mechanics, all while bringing to life areas in vanilla that are overlooked to renew their value. The mod is derived off games like Terraria, where progression and exploration are closely intertwined, so you have a roadmap to follow. What Terramity's 1.0 aims to achieve then is a full rebuild of the mod from the ground up, to create a polished and cohesive progression-heavy mod. 1.0 will be extensive, from updating bosses, revamping guns, to rituals, dodging and parrying abilities, status effects, enchantments, and much more. Terramity 1.0 will additionally feature its own custom resource pack and soundtracks to establish itself a clear identity amongst other mods. The modder has shared numerous sneak peeks of the upcoming 1.0 release and what to expect. From the looks of it, it appears to be the one-stop mod you need for a progression-focused playthrough. Version 1.0 will be set to release initially on Forge 1.20.1, with eventual plans to make it available on NeoForge 1.21.1 in the future. Although the rework looks to have a long journey ahead, the modder's efforts in reimagining Terramity look to be well worth the wait, so keep some tabs on it as its reworks unfold. The underground is a major aspect of Minecraft, and the next upcoming mod, Subterrous, seeks to enrich this region through new cave biomes and minerals. The mod's primary area in the works is the Redstone Caves biome, a crystalline cavern pulsating with redstone energy. This contains its own small but unique ecosystem of creatures and blocks, all of which are inextricably linked to the power and magic of redstone energy. What's really intriguing is the mod hasn't just slapped a bunch of miscellaneous features and called it a day. Every feature shown thus far feels interconnected with the grander gameplay design. Some additions even tackle creative solutions to areas in Minecraft that thematically fit with the mod and redstone as a whole. Had this been an inclusion into the Caves and Cliffs update, it would probably fit quite well, honestly. Subterrous is still in active development, so there'll be other points of interest to explore in Minecraft's caverns as the mod develops. The mod will initially become available for Fabric and Neoforge on 1.21.1, with a release date to be determined once it's closer to being complete. All in all, Subterrous looks to be a promising mod for reinvigorating the caverns again, and perhaps become a staple for Vanilla Plus setups. Next on our list is Spry Conquest. For those of you who play on Bedrock, you may be acquainted with this mod, and are welcome to see its debut on Java Edition. Spry Conquest injects a full fantasy experience into Minecraft, where adventures await, foes to fight, and tales of riches can be told. Spry Conquest takes pages off fantasy games in the open world genre, and inserts these into the mod to experience in blocky form. In it, players can fully envision themselves in an open world fantasy game, where every playthrough is procedurally created. Whether it's storming goblin camps to freeing captive prisoners, the mod is something new for you to experience. The impacts of these effects culminates in a fantasy world that's fully alive and ever-changing. Spry Conquest is currently being developed for Forge 1.20.1, and could eventually see a future update on its Bedrock counterpart once it's released. As of this time, there's no estimated date to expect a release, but by the looks of things, Spry Conquest could be the go-to fantasy mod you need to turn Minecraft into a fantasy game. Coming to a development that entails more than one mod, there's the Animalia Project. The Animalia Project is an upcoming collection of mods that strives to make the player be as free as an animal. The modder envisions a project that brings awareness to the Earth, its ecosystems, cultures, and the connections the planet provides between people and animals. At the end, it will provide an experience that makes you want to be free, explore the world, enjoy the day-to-day moments with other players, and learn about the fascinating ecosystems of Earth and how to protect them. This will be presented through not just taking on animal hybrid forms, but across the project's mobs, foods, and mechanics, in a way that's both fun, engaging, and educational. The Animalia Project won't be released as one mod. Instead, it will be broken up into a series of 3 separate mods. The first mod, Animalia, is the main active mod in development. Centered around player expression, Animalia will allow players to adapt animal-like qualities on their avatars, becoming humanoid hybrid players that visually and mechanically offer new ways of experiencing the game. Every animal hybrid will be fully fleshed out, both in their appearances and their gameplay styles, to give each hybrid form their distinct playing experience. Animalia Wilds is the mod all about the flora and fauna, aiming to introduce a diverse array of new plants and animals, big and small, to discover and learn about, interact with, or extract the materials to use for consumption or other purposes. Animalia Feast will cap off the trio of mods through culture and food. This is the binding agent that weaves all the Animalia projects together into an interconnected modding package. Through this, players can use edible materials from wilds and connect with one another through cooking up an assortment of cultural dishes, prepared with new spices, crops, and cooking methods. The team's current focus is on the Animalia mod, which is aimed to be playable initially on 1.20.1 for Forge or Neoforge, with hopes to cover Fabric and other mainstream versions down the line. The Animalia project is something that may take several years to be fully realized. Conceptually, the modding project shows great potential, and should the entire project be fully realized, it sounds like it will provide an extensive modding experience that's both engaging and informative. Players who enjoy the realm of Elden Ring will welcome the developments of the upcoming Minecraft mod Valiant Sky. Valiant Sky seeks to integrate many of Elden Ring's combatants, bosses, armor, and weapons into the world of Minecraft. Each edition is carefully crafted to remain as faithful to the IP as possible, whilst aligning with the artistic direction of Minecraft. Valiant Sky also sets out to translate as many of Elden Ring's gameplay mechanics into the mod, from integrating NPCs to a potential hardcore mode, leveling and parrying systems, and custom music. Most of the mod's features will be contained in their own dimension, potentially multiple, where you can fully envision yourself as the Tarnished in Minecraft form. Steady progress has been made on the mod, including playable betas out for Forge 1.20.1, but the mod has lots to cover before it needs completion. Don't let that stop you from trying your hand on a promising Elden Ring inspired mod. From one IP to another comes another exciting mod in the works, Penumbra Phantasm. This is a mod derived off Deltarune, focused on introducing dark worlds, dark fountains, and drawing some elements off Undertale. Even in its development stages, it's clear the developer has invested lots of time and effort in seeing this project become fully realised. From the visuals to entering the dark world itself, the mod's qualities are something to marvel at. Much of the dark fountains and world backbones are established, with some areas awaiting completion. The future of the mod looks to expand beyond the dark world and fountains, incorporating a wider variety of unique utilities and equipment from the two IPs, like save points, places to store your souls, and custom mechanics to let you return to the light world. The mod has been in the works over a few months, and as of late, it appears to be close to initial release for Forge 1.20.1. Penumbra Phantasm looks incredibly unique and interesting, and there's still much in store for the mod's roadmap, so keep an eye out for the mod's updates. Every player needs food, unless you play creative or peaceful. Thankfully, the abundance of food in Minecraft's survival sandbox has no expiration date, at least if one doesn't consider installing the next upcoming mod, Spoilage. Spoilage makes every food item perish over time. What may start off as some simple discoloration would eventually become a breeding ground for bacteria and mold, leaving an unwelcome surprise to those who eat them. This applies across all the food blocks and items in the game, including crops and produce and vines. What this simple change does greatly affects your relations with food and how to manage it wisely. Turning to structures for food is no longer a reliable means to secure food early, as all the food will be updated to contain food of varying quality. Unfortunately for those with stockpiles of perished food, they may need to throw much of it to waste. Villagers refuse offers with them, crops and saplings cannot be planted, and animals and players will suffer from food poisoning if ingesting it. Wherever food decay comes, follows methods of preserving them. From storing food below ground to keeping food within colder biomes, the environment has a new element to play in keeping food fresher for longer. Food spoilage is highly configurable and will be entirely data driven, so these attributes will be fully transferable to any modded food items. The mod will be targeted for NeoForge 1.21.1, with no estimated release date. All in all, Spoilage will bring a new element of survival to the game, to rethink how and when to use food. Last on the list is the Portal mod. The Portal mod aims to capture a truly authentic Portal experience within Minecraft. Whereas other Portal themed mods just add a portal gun and maybe some of the game's assets, the developer's mission is to translate the game's iconic elements in a manner in which they're comparable to an official game update. Every integrated feature is designed to be used for survival and cooperative play. In fact, it's encouraged, as you have the opportunity to recreate Portal's test labs, or even create your very own to share with your friends. Very recently, the developers revealed the release date for the Portal mod, where it will be made playable on the 18th of April. Portal mod will initially be released on Forge 1.16.5, which they'll later work towards porting it for newer versions, support NeoForge, and potentially Fabric. If Portal is a game you enjoyed, mark your calendars and get ready to experience a new Portal mod to have fun with. To learn more about these upcoming mods in this video, there'll be extra info in the description. Should you wish to uncover some more promising mod developments, then you may find the first part of this to be quite intriguing. Otherwise, if you feel as if I've missed a mod, then be sure to mention it in the comments. Thank you for watching, and let's continue expanding the mod menagerie.